Doing really well. I was super happy that I got a session with you like as quickly as I did because I've been following you for quite a bit and just watching your educational content, and I enjoy it a lot. But I would check. I checked like 2 days ago to see because I was in your stream and I was
Yep.
watching the hot takes
Uh-huh.
stuff, which was super entertaining. But I was like,
Appreciate
let
it.
me just see what the sessions are looking like. And there was one open like 2 days later on Saturday, and then the next one was like in November. So I was like, let me just take this opportunity.
Nice, nice. Well, good. I'm glad. Yeah, it was a last second reschedule I saw. So that's probably where you filled in. So, well, glad to be here.
Awesome.
I'm glad we got this all situated here. I've got your form pulled up here, and obviously since it's fresh,
Mhm.
we can use it as kind of a base point here. So let's start with this. What got you interested in coaching?
Well, I kind of want to just like improve my general like knowledge of the game, like positioning and how how I just like move on the field because like I don't
Yeah.
really I like to bounce around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play like almost exclusively mystery heroes, and
Mm-hmm.
so I like to play just like all the characters. I think they're all super fun, but
Yep.
I want
Yep.
to kind of like lock in a
Yeah.
way and just like
Yeah.
kind of get more serious about like my support and DPS
Sure.
more.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. So just kind of finding a little bit like kind of shifting the spectrum a little bit more towards just taking it a little bit more seriously, improving a little bit more. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Looking at the form here, kind of like low plat with DPS tank and support. So kind of middle of the road, a little bit above average with basically everything.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, even
mm,
though the form is still very fresh, I did rank up to diamond on DPS, which
wow.
like,
Congrats.
like, thank
Nice.
you. I know this season I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I know it's a lot more lenient on rank this season.
Mhm.
But I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I don't know how much more lenient it is with Diamond. I mean, I really don't know. Like, I would say we know it's more lenient with Masters Grandmaster in a good way because it was too hard last season.
Mhm.
But I don't know how that was going to be affecting middle ranks, to be honest with you. So it might be a little bit of a boost. It might not be at all. But either way, like, good stuff. Congrats. Well done. Don't take it with
Thank
a
you,
grain of
thank
salt, but like, don't take it with a spoonful of salt. You know what I'm saying? It's still an
you,
accomplishment. So well done.
thank you.
And then it looks like you kind of bounce around at a couple different characters. It really depends. Diva Zarya Doom, Sombra Ash Tracer, Wuyang Juno Kiriko Mercy, if things get crazy. Most plays EDI. You were basically an OTP, but basically never play the character anymore. What are we going to be looking at today?
I wanted to look at my Wuyang
Yeah, let's do it.
because I mean yeah he's super new, but I kind of like immediately fell in love with him from the playtest,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like the way he plays. I'm
Yep.
really bad at Lucio, and this feels
Yep.
like a diet Lucio in a way with like the movement.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I played a lot of Juno before,
Sure.
but um, I kind of like fell off with her because like I played her a lot like when she first came out,
Mm-hmm.
but then after like probably 10 hours or so, I kind of just got bored.
Yep.
So Wuyang felt
Yep.
like super fresh, and I love his primary fire, obviously, like how it
Mm-hmm.
works. Um, so I want to look at Wuyang and like potentially Tracer if like we get through Wuyang stuff, like
Sure. Sure.
but mostly Wuyang.
Okay, I'm looking at your playtime here. Obviously, you've seen some of my other sessions, so you know we'll talk about practice time and training schedule and so on. One thing that
Mhm.
definitely stands out to me is your goals long term and your training time. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is a pretty decent chance that you could hit master on all roles, but I doubt that you'd be able to hit masters at the same time. It's probably going to be
Yeah,
like depending on the
yeah.
season, maybe we can hit masters if you like really grind at it. With like let's say you put like 6 to 8 serious hours, you could probably do it. But being able to do that at
Yeah,
the same time, probably going to be unreasonable the amount of playtime that you're getting. You probably know that, but just good to know.
that's kind of like a very like long term, because
Sure.
I think tank for sure is gonna be like a down the road thing
Yeah.
because I'm not in a tank mindset at the moment.
Mm,
But I still enjoy playing the role, but not at like that serious of a level. And I'm like in the beginning stages of learning Doom, and
yep.
he is the tank that I would want to play the most.
Yep. Yep.
So
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
focusing on DPS and support.
Yeah, and then nothing's to say in the long term that your training schedule couldn't change. I guess it's just more along the lines of like hitting diamond in all roles with like 8 hours a week is possible right now. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be possible. But obviously more than that, probably not reasonable unless you change your training schedule. Do you have any questions about training schedule? I mean, obviously you talked about like you're the Mystery Heroes guy, enjoy playing a little bit of everything. You're trying to narrow that up a little bit. Do you have any questions on how to do that effectively, or do you feel like you have a general idea of what you ought to be doing?
Well, as you know, I have watched a lot of your videos, so I know about like going in TDM, going in Baxter, doing that kind of stuff to begin with. I think for Wuyang specifically, I was wondering what your advice was, because like I feel like that stuff for Wuyang is a little bit much.
It is. I mean, I would just basically any character that doesn't really benefit from Vaxta, I would still jump in for like 2 minutes just to basically wake your brain up. Like you could literally be shooting practice range bots. Like it doesn't really matter. Having something moving is nice though. Just get in the flow of it, like the rhythm of it, and then just jump into ranked, and then while you wait deathmatch, and then you're fine.
Gotcha.
The first game's just gonna be a little clunky. Don't really sweat it too much. Beyond that, you're probably fine. And then in terms of like that, no, go ahead and finish.
I was just gonna say, would you also say like doing a couple quick plays before would also be good practice, or
probably
good, like,
not?
warm-up?
Probably not.
No?
You could probably do one if you wanted to. I mean, really, warm up is really highly stylized based off the person, like what you feel works for you. For me, I don't mind being a little bit chilly on my first game as long as I feel like I'm giving it full effort with the other aspects of my game. But if you feel like really uncomfortable going in, like I'm not hitting a couple of basic shots, I really should have given this a quick play or two, then that's fine for you as well. It's really up to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Last thing I'd say just for you is like this is something that I do all the time because I'm kind of at the point in time now where I don't really grind one character at a time unless I'm learning a new character. But if I am grinding a new character, you need to understand dynamic hero pools, which maybe you've heard me talk about before. Just basically, if you want to learn a character, you need to devote like 60-70% of your time to that character. And that doesn't mean that you have to stay with a character long term, but it does need to stay with a character on like a tri-weekly basis, right? Like you're playing that character and mostly that character for several weeks, maybe a month or more. And then if you get bored, like you said that with Juno, right? Like that's fine. That's fine. But you need to do enough. There needs to be enough specific focused time spent on that character so that you're able to get below like the surface level depth, if that makes sense. Because if you don't, then you're risking that like you see this at pro play, like you see players that like they devote like a character becomes meta and they devote like almost all their rank time to the character and they learn the character really fast. Whereas like the plat or gold mindset is like I'll play a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like don't do that. Like 'cause you'll never really get it below a surface level understanding of the character. Whereas I would literally rather you grind a character for 3 or 4 weeks and then not play them for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think very much for this season, like my most played is Wuyang by like a country mile. You know, I have 7 hours in ranked right now, which I actually did. I did hop on the Marvel Rivals train for like a few months. I was like off Overwatch. I was really spoiled by the Rivals ranked system, and I was having a good time. But now that I'm back, like I'm having a lot of fun, like grinding ranked again, and I'm sticking to like Wuyang, and then I'll go to like Ana or Kiri like for this season. That's kind of those are like my go-tos.
Sure.
And then the like as the DPS pool that I had.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. And that's both a negative and a positive thing. Like the negative thing is don't swap your characters that much, but the positive thing is like if you do decide to like drop Wuyang like 3 weeks from now and pick up another support, you grind that support, you will learn that support very quick. You don't need to worry too much about it. It might be good to grind that support in quick play unless it's a support that you've played before. Like you could probably pick up Juno right now and play it just fine. It's basically the same level you're Wuang. Maybe you'd have a couple of rough games that you'd get right back in the flow of things, right? But if you're relatively comfortable that hero or a character is relatively strong, then you're basically your learning curve of the character is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Like you're going to pick up new characters much faster the more that you do that process. So there's not going to be like this long learning curve that probably was like your initial starting impact with Overwatch. Like your first character that you hit the plat with, it probably took longer than any other character that you're ever going to grind after that, right? So you just get better at learning new things essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Last thing here in your form, talk about being scattered all over the place, both mentally and in game, rubber banding between overconfident and low self-esteem regarding your gameplay and skills. So talk to me through that.
So I think like I'll just like talk about Wuyang.
Mm-hmm.
So his kit like is obviously meant to do like a lot of damage while you're kind
Yes.
of like passively healing or like,
Yep.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
Correct.
I feel like I have at this point in time a very bad like tunnel vision issue where I will really focus in on trying to like get my depth perception right and like hone in on a shot when like someone's dying like right next to me. And so
Right.
like I think that in that way like I I need to focus like I need to like learn how to delegate better on like when something's worth, chasing and like when it's not, but and that's like how I'm scatterbrained in that sense, I think.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Just kind of like all over the place
Yeah,
with
makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, can I give you some feedback here? So this is something that I get a lot from a lot of students. Is like I'm really bad at multitasking. Really bad at multitasking. What Overwatch is it's essentially asking you to do arithmetic in your brain while deadlifting 500 pounds with one arm and juggling with the other. Okay, that's basically what Overwatch does compared to other games. And so people will try that task and they'll say, I'm really bad at multitasking, right? And my answer is no, you're just really bad at picking up weights, or you're really bad at juggling, or you're really bad at doing arithmetic, or maybe you're just not actually bad. Maybe we're just asking way too much of you. You get what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
problem is not your multitasking. The problem is that Overwatch, especially in comparison to other games, asks such a ridiculous amount of multitasking compared to other games that it's going to expose you from being anything less than exceptionally comfortable at any one of the tasks it asks you to do. So, for example, HP awareness of your team. That's a difficult skill to maintain, but it's something that you can improve on. Your positioning, your mechanics, especially with a character like Wuyang, which demands active control. That's what makes Wuyang really unique, right? It's not just a one and done. It's something that you're consistently applying your focus to for the duration of the projectile, right? So when you're saying that I have a hard time controlling his primary fire, teammates are dying right next to me, what you're really just describing is that I have a hard time doing two things because I'm not great at either one of those things.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? The only way to multitask is to be able to do something almost without any sort of conscious effort whatsoever. And how do you do that? You don't get better at multitasking. You get better at the tasks individually such that you're able to multitask. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like if
Yeah.
I'm asking you to do arithmetic while walking, you could do that quite easily. But if I asked a 2-year-old or 3-year-old to do that, that's probably going to be a lot more challenging because they don't walk nearly as comfortably as you and I do, and certainly not arithmetic. At least any 2 or 3-year-olds that I know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's the individual
Yeah.
skill that's the problem. It's not the multitasking, because the people that are really good at multitasking are just really good at those individual skills. If you ask somebody that was able to juggle and unicycle and sing, Disney songs at the same time, and then ask them to play Overwatch because, oh, you're really good at multitasking, they would be terrible at multitasking in Overwatch.
Right.
There's not,
Right.
and that's all it is, right? They've just been able to autopilot many of those skills. So for you, it's the short, quote unquote shortcut is just to continue to sharpen your strengths with your primary fire, with your teammate awareness, with your positioning, with your cooldown usage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until those tasks take less brain effort and become much more natural.
Gotcha.
So don't beat yourself. And I think that's part of the problem, is that people will beat themselves up for not being able to multitask. And then that kind of like self-judgment also takes brain bandwidth. And then now you're adding another thing that's kind of slowing things up, right? That's why confidence is really important, because confidence isn't like a magical pill that's just going to make you powerful at the game, but confidence removes any sort of self-doubt, because self-doubt is just it's a speed bump, essentially. It just gets in the way. Even if it's right, like even if you're like, I'm not that good, you still want to be confident because you want to be able to get better by not having to sit there and tell yourself how bad you are. You just need to play, you know? So the way to look at it confidently is be like, maybe I suck at multitasking right now, but that's okay. That's part of the process and I'll figure it out eventually. And I'm not like committing war crimes by letting my teammates die occasionally because I'm focusing on my primary fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just part of
Yeah.
the game.
I think my mindset is kind of still in like I like I need to be like always keeping my team up, and like with the character doing like as much damage as he does, I also want to like utilize that to its full
Right,
potential.
right.
So like, and I kind of like go between, which one do I prioritize, and I guess that's exactly why I'm at coaching, to see
Yeah,
where
exactly.
situations I should do it.
Well, what this starts with is an understanding, and this is why understanding is so important, because understanding gives you the foundation of what you should be putting attention to. It doesn't tell you exactly, it doesn't make you a better player, but it helps you to prioritize your skills, right? Like if you are going into a Wuyang game, and you just kind of described it, right? Like your damage, your damage is really important with Wuyang compared to some of the other supports, like Mercy, like even something like a Brig, like. It's so important for you to devote resources to your primary fire. Like it's so important, right? It's up there with like Zenyatta in terms of priority, right? So then the question is then, okay, how much is that a priority in terms of healing? Well, let's look at the kit, right? Like how good is your passive heal?
Very good.
Okay, so then how good is so really quick, when you say very good, we're comparing it to other
as in, like,
healers, right?
I can keep my orb on someone, and it can keep them up like in a duel, like
Sure.
fairly.
So let me reframe that question then. How good is your passive heal in terms of cycling it depending on the situation? How much value do you get out of going, okay, that deserves passive heal, that deserves passive heal? Is that a valuable thing to do?
Probably not. Like
Right.
not to like.
It's not enough, right? It's not enough to be a earth-shattering, life-changing ability. Oh no, my Mercy's getting pressured. If I passive heal her, she's going to live 100%. You get what I'm saying? It might save her. It might not be enough. And so what that means is, does it mean that shifting your passive heal around is bad? No, but it's not a priority because it's not good enough. Now let's shift that question to how good is your burst heal, right? This one's obvious, right? With your wave, your alt fire. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. It's probably the best burst heal in the entire game, up there with like Moira Orb plus spray, on a nade plus pocket if you're hitting all your shots. It's insane. And it's super easy too, right? So how important is your burst heal? I mean, it's insanely important on anybody. Why? Because it's insanely powerful, right? So you're noticing the pattern here is the things that deserve your attention are the things that you're good at. Do you notice that? Because that's where you can get the biggest bang for your buck. Does that make sense? Now, how powerful is your mobility and your movement and your rotations in comparison to other supports?
I would say it's pretty good. Like not as good as like
Right.
as like Lucio or like
Sure.
Yeah, but I would say it's up there. Really
Yeah,
good.
but it's good enough to devote a little bit of your time. Now, I'm going to put priority in position because I think it's an important aspect of Overwatch, but you're definitely right. It's not as crucial as, like, let's say, a Lucio, even something like a Moira Kiriko, right, where their mobility is probably a little bit more consistent and a little bit more bursty. Those characters are going to benefit a little bit more from being very actively angle-pilled. Wuyang should off-angle. However, your off-angling isn't like as complicated and as incredibly crucial. I've seen even Wuyangs get away with being a little bit more passive. I don't encourage that playstyle, but if you're being a little bit like that, it's not the end of the world, right? As long as you're prioritizing your damage and your burst heal, right? But you see where I'm going with this, right? So what we're doing is we're helping you to decide what deserves your attention and what doesn't deserve your attention. Your position always deserves attention, but it's not going to be as important as a Moira or Kiriko or Lucio, okay? Your primary fire deserves your attention, and it's going to be more important than about 90% of the support cast, correct? Your burst heal deserves your attention. But what doesn't deserve your attention is constantly worrying about healing every single person that deserves a little bit of healing, because is that your character's strength? No. You have wave is on a resource. Even your heal is on a resource. And every time that you use your heal, it stops the regeneration. So you're picky. Even your passive heal isn't strong enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is already like helping me a lot, because I feel like that's one of the things that holds me back from taking like more aggressive angles, because I do think like I have the tendency to fall into the passive play style, because I'm like, I want to be there just in case like I need to just wave my team, or I need to like switch my orbs around. I think now that I'm thinking back on it, I think I'm switching my orbs around way too much.
Well, that and you see what I'm saying. This is where understanding is helpful, because it tells you what to put priorities on, right? And my priority for you is your damage is your priority, your burst heal is your priority, and just behind that is going to be your off angling, you using your mobility a little bit. Your frequently uptime healing on multiple targets is bad, and it's not enough of a priority. So it should demand your attention as much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that gives us our ideas of like when we are multitasking, what really should we be practicing? And some games you might want to practice your mechanics. Some games you might want to focus on your positioning. Some games you might want to work on your resource management to get your burst heals off. And then that's pretty much all you should be really putting emphasis on. That's it. Nothing else really matters. So, okay. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. We can take a look at a review here if you'd like. I don't really have any other questions for you.
Gotcha. Okay. I have a Blizzard World, which I'll send the code in the chat.
Sure.
And this is one where I feel like I defaulted to stacking main way too much. And I don't know where I should have positioned better. Yep. I know I could have positioned better, sure. But I'm just not sure.
Okay, that's fine. We'll talk about it. Last two things is I'm going to bully you a little bit about your sleep. I'm sure you're very busy, but 6 hours is, kind of mid. That being said, you get, I won't bully you too much about it because you said I slay in the form. So maybe, maybe I need to choose my, maybe. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll simply look at, are you multitasking, but in the attempt to multitask, are you letting obvious priorities slip, right? Are you letting things go, right? I mean, it's why I ask about sleep, right? It's because sleep is one of the most important things you could do for your performance, no matter what you're doing. And so if you're grinding, I get some people that are like, I see 6 hours of sleep, and then I look at their playtime, and they're getting like 6 hours of playtime a day. I'm not exaggerating, right? Those people have the priorities wrong, right? They need to take some out of column A and put it into column B, and that's going to make them better players and better people too. So, okay, let's take a look here. Like right now, you're not cycling your orbs. Should you? By your orbs, I mean your heal.
I don't think I need to.
Correct. Like, is your Ana taking a little bit of chip damage? Yeah. Reaper? Yeah. Ryan? Yeah. But there's nothing that's really demanding your full attention. And so right now, the most important thing that you can do for your team right now is hit this orb. Because what was this orb going to do to this Sojourn?
Make her a little scared.
Make her a little scared. So what's she going to do? She's going to back up. So what she's going to do when she back up, she doesn't shoot for a few seconds. So what's that going to do? It's going to prevent your team from taking damage, right? But if you look carefully, look at where your crosshair is moving towards. You see it? It's moving down. So it was up, which it needed to be up to hit the shot, but now it's moving down. Why is it moving down? Well, I know what you're about to do. I think you're going to cycle your hero orb onto your Ana. Now, why is that a mistake? Because you're going to miss your shot because you're too busy thinking about your Ana.
Oh, yeah. So this first fight
there
actually is
there it is right there. You see it? You need to hit that damage orb because that's what's going to protect your team, right? That's the way Wuyang is balanced. And so that's exactly what we talked about early on in the review, is when you prioritize the wrong things, the important things go by the wayside.
Yeah. This first fight, I definitely was like, I was focusing on that high ground up there, and there was this Hanzo that I just kept giving to 1 HP, and I just could not finish it off, and it was so annoying.
Sure, but that's okay. Like that's kind of how it goes sometimes, right? Like that's all right. So let's see what we do. Yeah, you're still getting distracted a little bit here. Now I understand this is probably worth your attention because that's a crit target, but it is incredibly important here. And you keep getting distracted by targets that are taking some damage, right? And we have not hit a shot yet. We've not done a single ticket damage on either Sojourn or Hanzo or Brig or Moira or anybody. So the reason why your tank is getting abused here is because these DPS have been running your team over. And why have they been running your team over? Because the most important person on your team, without exception, at clearing those high grounds is you. Better than Ana, better than Reaper, better than Torb. You've been nowhere. And it's because of your attention. It's not because your mechanics are bad. I mean, if you miss your shots, you miss your shots. It happens to the best of us, right? But it's because your attention is wrong. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Now, right now, your attention's good. Keep it there. But I'm scared because I see a crit Ryan, I know but you don't have wave. You don't have a lot of heal resource. So he's not your problem, right? You don't have the cooldowns you need to deal with that problem. And there it is. You didn't finish the job. So if I look here, let me look at where these orbs are going. A little short. Didn't control that one because you were distracted. Didn't control that one either. You didn't pull it. You notice that? So there's sometimes they're being pulled too far or they're not being pulled at all. You get what I'm saying? Like they're not pulled down. Because the vast majority of the shots that you're going to hit are going to hit at your opponent's feet through splash damage. So you go here and you yank it down and you yank it down and you yank it down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, to be frank, there's really nothing to say here except the fact that we haven't done a single tick of damage. You yanked that one down too fast. That one was a direct, but you notice that you're not doing the yanks tech, right? You got to splash it. You have to splash it. That's an impressive shot, but that's too hard, if that makes sense. You see it again? It's a good shot, but it's too freaking hard. It's way easier to pull your crosshair down consistently every single time. The only time you don't do that is if somebody's directly in your face, in which case you're doing just spamming uncharged orbs, right? It's the only time. You notice that you're still not yanking it, right? You should be pulling the side, pulling to the floor behind the corner. Make sense? Sure. There's your burst heal value. Good stuff. Yeah, you were just obsessed with hitting directs. Like, I'm not even criticizing here. I'm saying, wow, this is impressive. Like, these are not easy to hit. To hit these direct shots, you got to use the splash tech. Make sense?
I don't think about the yanking enough. Like,
sure.
I usually just I try to like wrap it around, by like turning the crosshair, but I don't do the splash damage.
Well, now you know. Remember, we talked about the attention to details, right? Like, where does your attention go? When it comes to something like the splash tech or whatever, it is, I would say, maybe the most important thing that you could be thinking about with Wuyang. Like, number one. Number two, burst heal, whatever, right? So it deserves your full attention and a large percentage of your games. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice shots. I mean, again, like, look, again, we're direct hits here, so I'm being a little critical, but like that's massive. Like, this is massive. That might kill her. That almost killed her. That could have killed her, and now she's basically out of the fight, and your team can walk forward for free. Huge. You have your burst steal, so this is fine. I'm not as big of a fan. That's a good wave, but I'm not as big of a fan of waving for damage unless you're being dove, if that makes sense. It does so little damage, and it's such a long cooldown. I would encourage you to actually use it for healing.
That was specifically because the Soj was like a single hit point, and I was like, you know what? Let me just wait.
Sure. Yeah, makes total sense. What deserves your attention right now?
Not the Hanzo, because he's doing nothing.
Well, I disagree. He might do something, right? Like, you got to think about your damage right now, right? So whatever you do, I actually think it needs to be some damage here. Because you're saying he's doing nothing, but that's just because he's missing his shots. What if he actually hits a shot, right? We know how Hanzo works.
Right.
Yeah. You know, so. But yeah, I think, like, whatever's fine here. Now, I'm looking at your perk choices here. I'm trying to remember the. Let me pull up the.
That one is for when you do your rushing torrent.
The resource. Yeah. Okay.
That is literally the one that I take all the time, and I don't know if that's bad.
Okay, so let me explain why I like the other one a little bit better. Okay. Because let's go back to the basics. Multitasking. What deserves your attention?
More damage.
More damage, right? Because that's going to be number one priority, right? Not just more damage, but just more accurately placed damage. So, therefore, what is going to benefit the most from that damage? It's going to be the other minor perk. Are you familiar with what it does?
Yeah, it's like, I think every time you do damage, it's like 20% more healing or something.
40%. 40%. For 2 seconds. So, you're going to gain an extra 20 healing every single time you hit a shot. And here's a crucial point. Even if you hit a splash, you don't even need to hit a direct. You just hit a splash. 10 damage, chip damage, it's 20 more healing, 20 more healing, 20 more healing every single time. The other reason why this one is good is just quality of life, right? You don't want to have to think more about how you use your shift or how you use your burst to move around or rushing torrent, because you are too busy thinking about your damage. And yes, more heal resource is nice, but also at that same point in time, if you're hitting your shots, you're getting more healing anyway. So what would you don't need as much healing resource. So the other perk is not bad, but I don't like it being tied to an ability when I could be doing more healing while focusing on the things that I'm already doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because what I will do is I will highlight where this perk will actually be useful. Right there, this would be useful. Because if you look at it right here, you just use your shift. So you just got more heal resource. But what do you notice? You're already at full heal resource, so you didn't get anything out of it. You see what I'm saying? So in situations when you reposition, you might accidentally get value, but perks that give you accidental value can be a little bit inconsistent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good shots.
And now I'm thinking about it, it's like, it's kind of like using 2 resources at once for like one purpose.
Yep.
Which is also, because like sometimes I do like actively use my rushing torrent so I can get more people. And like then I don't have any mobility. So
I think the way to look at it right now is like that probably would have been around 50 more healing right there with the nated effect on the Rhine. So just off of hitting those 2 shots on the Hanzo, that would have given your Rhine an extra 50 HP if you'd had the other perk. And that's going to be consistent every single time you do it. Every single time. So just something to consider.
No, yeah, this is making a great argument for the other perk.
Yeah, with the amount of attention that you're going to be putting onto damage when you're playing properly, it significantly amplifies the value. You get your ult faster, you heal more. It's great. Sure. Now, I don't know. Are you in console or PC?
I'm on console.
Okay, I guess you can't stream Overwatch and play at the same time. Crud. Okay. Because I would love I'd love to just... So what I might do here is I might encourage, if there is another character that you are interested in playing, we might want to look at that as well, because I can tell you that this is going to be a lot more of the same. And what I would prefer to do is just prescribe you with a practice routine. And then, but we could watch a few more fights, maybe answer some questions you have, but it's going to be more of the same. Okay. Focus on your damage, focus on the splash tech, and so on.
Yeah, I have a Tracer VOD that I also have ready.
Sure.
That, so like, it's a Tracer duel, more of like a question. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
more
Sure. So we can watch several more fights. Maybe we can skip around to different sections of the map. But yeah, we don't have to grind away.
For the most part, like, on second point, we can like skip forward to second point on this. Not second point, but like the last point. Because I tried to take an off angle, and I think I gave it up like too quickly and didn't go back.
Sure.
And want to know if I should have just like stayed there, or
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be frank here. So like, this is another situation. I probably would just use an ult here defensively. That probably would be fine. But this is also a situation where you're very panicky because there's a lot of crap happening. And so you either need to use your wave, use your ultimate, or focus on hitting your shots. And this is, I think, the perfect situation where your multitasking is failing you. Because what's happening here is a wave would be very beneficial here. Damage would be very beneficial here on the Sojourn or on the Doom or on this Torb or anybody, right? Like this Torb drops, you could kill this guy, right? You could put a couple of shots on her from behind a wall. You could put a couple of shots on him. You could wave her. You could wave him. You could ult him. You could ult her. You could ult yourself and go at the Sojourn, right? Basically, this is one of those moments where there is a true multitasking situation available, where you have a CD, an ult, and primary fire. They're all relevant right now, right? So what should you do?
I should have ulted either my Torb or my Ana, and I should have just waved like right here in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely I just choked this entire fight.
Well, you choked because this is one of the true multitasking moments that we've had, right? Remember the very first fight we talked about how you failed your shots on Hanzo because you forced yourself to multitask with chip healing your Ana when it just wasn't really important? That's a huge mistake. This is the opposite of that. This is a moment where you do want to multitask, correct? Because you have 3 different things you could be doing that all would be beneficial right now, correct?
Yeah.
So let me ask you the question again. Listen carefully. What should you do? You're not a good multitasker with this character. You're not good enough at the 3 things. So what should you do in these situations?
Um,
If you don't know the answer, that's fine. I want you to sweat here a little bit.
yeah, I'm trying. Well,
Because
I think
it's not really about this particular situation, it's about the concept. What do you do when you have so many things that you could be doing? How do you approach those situations?
uh, I mean, I really don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean,
Let me ask you a
my
question.
do
Are you doing anything well right now? Are you hitting your shots, waving, or
no,
ulting well right now? Right. So anything is an improvement over what you're doing right now, correct?
yeah, I guess like playing like play to my character's strengths, like so I
But that's
should.
the problem, right? We have three things that are strengths of your character with the wave, the burst heal, the ult, and your primary fire, right? And all would be useful, right? This is one of those moments where it's not as simple as just hit your shots, dummy. It's really complicated and really challenging.
Mhm.
You're doing everything poorly because you're overwhelmed. So you ready for the solution? Pick something and do it well. I don't care what it is. Pick something and do it well. If you focus right now on getting your ult off, who would you ult with the information that you have right now?
My Ana
Or who else do you see is in trouble?
or the Torb,
Or the
but
Torb.
I see that my Ana is like right above.
And you fail both ults, and you ult your Ryan,
Yeah.
who's under no pressure and not close to anybody, correct? So you failed your ult. How dare you? Okay, now what about your Ana here? Could you have focused on your wave here? If so, where would you have waved?
On the Torb.
Okay, sure. Would that have kept him alive? Yes, it would have. And you could have heal resourced him, right? Wave, heal resource. Would your Ana have died? Yes. Could you have kept your Torbjorn up? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What if you focused on your damage here? What could you have done with your damage?
Clear high ground.
Clear high ground, right? Who else? What else? What else deserves to be shot right now?
The Torb or the
The Torb, yeah,
Torb.
sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. No, you nailed it, right? That might have kept your Torbjorn alive. You hit one or two shots here, that actually might have killed that Torb. So again, I asked you the question, what should you have done in this fight? And the answer is, well, you choose.
Yeah.
What would you like to focus on? So whenever you find yourself overwhelmed, because there are a lot of things that you could do, just objectively, all I want you to do is to fixate on the one that stands out to you immediately and stick with it. Commit full out.
Okay.
Maybe the only way to win this fight is to do all three things simultaneously, which you just physically cannot do. You're not good enough. I'm sorry, right? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe nobody's good enough, right? That's all right. But what you can do is at least not waste the opportunity to practice something and at least give your team something of an edge, right? Saving your Torbjorn with heal, with ult, or with damage, is that going to win you this fight? I don't know. But there's a better chance than what we're doing right now, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
So whenever you find yourself overwhelmed because there objectively are multiple things that you could and should be doing, the question is not which one should I do, but just choosing one and doing it the best that you can. So at least if you fail miserably, you learn something out of it. You got a practice rep out of it. Whereas there's nothing to be learned from here. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So
sure.
in these chaotic situations, pick one aspect of your kit, your damage, your ult, whatever, and commit to getting value out of that. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That way this doesn't happen. Because this is a disaster. The wave's bad. The damage is bad. I mean, you're hitting things into walls because you're stressed. The ult is bad. Everything is bad. And it's not bad because you're dumb. It really is a stressful moment. Like, everyone would be stressed under this moment, right? The question is can I find a way to get value out of this by forcing myself to simplify the process? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Good wave. Good heal. Very good burst heal. Beautiful burst heal. And actually, quietly, you got a little bit of value out of the rushing torrent heal resource there. Not very much, but you got a little bit, but it's not enough, sadly. Okay, let's reset here. And you said that you got, was it third point that you said you were trying to take an angle and you were struggling?
Yeah, when
Okay,
when we capped or not.
Let's jump ahead here. So this is a very difficult section of the map here, so we'll see. What deserves your attention right now?
I'm doing damage.
Right, doing damage, right? You've used your wave. You don't really have a huge, crazy positional off angle where you need to worry about saving your life. You don't have ult. You just need to hit your shots. And we just stopped controlling our orb because we wanted to heal our Torb, who was basically already full, right? That's the kind of crap where you're forcing multitasking when it's not really needed, if that makes sense. So when multitasking is earned, focus on one thing. When multitasking is not earned, focus on one thing, right? So no matter what way you look at it, right? Multitasking will get better with time. You just need to trust it. Good shots.
Also, sorry, it's actually not even this point. It was on our defense where
okay.
The second point defense.
I see. So is it like
our first point actually went pretty well for the most part, and then the Moira honestly started getting tilted, and so she started like doing her own thing. But we got like pushed to the third point, and I feel like it was definitely winnable.
Sure.
I want to know what I should have done better, which now I know a lot of things could have gone better.
Of course, but you always know that, right? But like, I think anybody can always play better. Like, for example, right here, this is one of the moments we'll talk a little bit about your positioning, where I think you're being overly conservative right now. You have your shift, your wave, sorry, you have your rushing torrent. You probably should be taking an angle here and putting priority on damage, and then if you get pushed, you just run away. The problem with this angle right now is that you don't have a sightline for damage. You're shooting blind. Right? And remember, that is your most important part of your kit. It's why you play Wuyang, right? So if you're here, you're just praying that there's something to shoot, if that makes sense. And so what ends up happening is your soldier does something a little bit silly. He flank visors, which is actually not a bad play, but he didn't really need to drop to do that. He could have done something like that from up here and been totally fine. But if you're here, you're not only distracting before his visor, you're also punishing after the visor. And you look at the number of targets that are 1 HP that you could have finished off or even assisted him with, but you were not in a position to assist him because you weren't there. Now, crucially, if he had not been here, this angle is still correct. You're not reliant on your team to follow up off of your off angles for them to be good. They will happen naturally. But when your team does take off angles, it just makes the value of them even better. Make sense?
Yeah.
And we're not like flanking with this character necessarily all the time, but just going a little, like even here, it's a little close, but at least we have a situation or position to do damage.
I really did want to be there, and then I moved back because of my RAM.
Yeah, you needed to see your RAM. I understand, but it's a good reminder here that when do you need to see your RAM? Well, when you have your wave, or you can respond with your wave, but even your healing is not consistent and not consistent enough. You seen it? It's just not enough sometimes. Right? So when you don't have your burst heal or you don't have your wave, healing's not really your priority. It's just damage. So that one makes Wuyang unique. He has insanely strong healing, but it is not there forever. It is there sometimes, and they're not there other times. Like right now, it is crucial that you hit the Sojourn. Like everything stops until you get the Sojourn out. Yes, and now she's out, so then now we can take an angle. Let's see what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you wanted the touch. I understand. Yeah, this is fine. This is good. Yeah, this is fine. This is an unfortunate situation, but the reason that you're in this fortunate situation is the previous fight, you frankly just did nothing. You just did nothing. You waved your remote showing he was basically full. You went back and he did not support your soldier. You did not shoot any damage at all, and now you're screwed. So, okay, let's look at this little fight here, and then maybe we can look at that tracer. Got her perk.
Reverse the tide.
I'll
keep you on your feet.
Chaotic.
Yeah,
but you got your old but you got your old off, which was the important part, right? Now what deserves your attention? Well, either keep somebody alive with your heal resource or hit some shots. Your choice. Beautiful. And now we're really locked into damage. And we're killing it. Like, see, this is the exact contrast of the second point attack, where there were a lot of things to do and you filled all of them. This one, you focused exclusively on getting your ult off at the right time and the right target. You got it? You did it. And then once the ult was done, you then focused exclusively on healing. And then once the healing was done, you then focused exclusively on damage. And so you just sequentially multitasked really quickly. And all three of those things were great. The ult on Ram, the heal on Soldier, the shots on Reaper, and then Moira. And then what happens? You win the fight. Nice job. You notice that it wasn't really truly multitasking, though. It was more about pivoting quickly from one task to the next. closing the door with one, then moving on to the next. And little, tip here, that's kind of how multitasking in real life works. Very rarely do you actually multitask at the same time. And if you do, that's because it's something that can be done automatically. Usually it's more about how quickly can I finish off these things and then move on to the next thing. So that was really well done for me right there. You carried that fight. Okay, damage deserves your full priority right now. Good. And you can tell your damage deserves your full priority, or it has your full attention, because your mechanics just all of a sudden get way better. Because you're actually like really focused. Now, obviously, we talked about the splash tech needs to be utilized more, but your damage is insane because you're actually hitting your shots, because you're actually thinking about hitting your shots. Okay, we'll skip forward a little bit here.
Yeah, I think for the most part, it's kind of like this. But yeah, you can keep watching if you want.
Yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
haven't-
well, we're almost done anyway. Like, this is basically the last little bit here.
Yeah.
Last thing maybe we'll talk about is just the wave. Like, it's more of a minor detail, but it's really important that you don't just use your wave unless you are under threat or somebody else is under threat. I wish wave was kind of how you're using it right now, or just big splash AoE. But it just tickles. And we talked about that with the Sojourn. It finished off that Sojourn kill on first point because she was like 30 HP. But outside of that, I would just save it. It's not like on as anti-nade at all. It's just not that good. It's really good defensively, and that's about it. So, like, this is a situation. Huge shot, by the way. Huge shot. Yeah. It's not that it's bad to use it defensively or offensively because it's on a long cooldown. It's bad because even if you use it, it just doesn't do anything. It's very little. Like, if you're, what's up?
Is it worth it at all to use it as like it's like a boop?
Yeah, of course.
Like, I know it doesn't really boop,
Yeah, 100%. Like, if this Reaper comes after you, wave him, 100%. But that's also because you would like the healing too, right? And a little bit of chip damage matters a lot in a 1v1, right? But if we're talking about like shots at range, like this example right here with the Sojourn, it's way more important that you hit the shot, because that's going to do 100 damage versus hit the wave, it's going to do 30. Like 30, less than melee, right, at this range. So it's horrific. Yeah, right now your damage is getting your full attention, and that's really good. But like, I knew you were going to wave this, and like, I don't think the wave here is bad, but I honestly don't think your Ram really needs it right now. What your Ram needs is you need to splash this guy in the face first, right? You need to hit your shot in this Reaper. That's going to be more valuable than the wave on the Ram, unless the Ram is crit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like one splash, because it's opportunity cost. When you wave, you're not shooting. And so this Reaper lives, and he should not have lived. I like the attention to damage. I like the attention to healing. This would be a wave situation. But see, that I don't think you realize he had it off cooldown, but that is a wave situation right there. But that wave is not, because he's too far away, so you should just be doing your damage. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Let's look at your tracer code, and then when we get that pulled up, we can wrap up our Wuyang and give you some specific things to work on.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, this has already been extremely helpful.
Yeah, and we'll simplify it as well. I'll even do it on like a priority list so that you're not like, okay, I've got 5 different things to work on. I'll be like, this is the one that probably deserves like half the games you play, and this one's maybe every now and then if you get bored, you can practice it.
That's
and
either...
You do want to look at this tracer code here. This is your priority?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I didn't just want to force you to look at tracer, but yeah, whatever you want to do.
No,
okay.
no, this is something like, that was the second code that I had readied up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ash, and then you just want to skip the tracer section, or you want to look a little bit of Ash?
Well, no, the Ash was just like first point. I just like
okay.
wanted to go tracer, so it would be
okay, better. So let's actually let you make the list here. So you've heard me yap about the Wuyang long enough. What are the big points that stood out to you? Things that you can actually practice. What are some of your priorities here?
Okay. Well, just for recency bias, using my wave more defensively.
Sure.
Just like using it to use it.
Right. So let me pause you really quick there. How much on your list of priorities is that? Like, how important? Number 1, number 2, number 3. Just give me your gut.
Probably like 3.
I would agree. That seems like something you could definitely practice and absolutely should practice, but probably not at the very, very, very top of your list. Okay, keep going.
Prioritizing like doing or like okay, like prioritizing doing one thing good at a time. So like if I'm in a position where I have an orb on someone and like I have a good angle, then just like only focus on hitting my shots and like.
So this one is the number one thing, right? But the weird thing about this one is the fact that this is actually something you have to do every game. So here's what I want you to do. We're giving you one thing to work on. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what we're practicing. So when you go into a game and the wave becomes your focus, it deserves your full attention. Do you understand? So I want that to be in the back of your mind. This is how we practice, but that's not what you're practicing. You see what I'm saying? Because you're like, I need to practice on one thing. Okay, well then what are you practicing? Well, I don't know, right? We said wave. Okay, so then what else? So always when you practice, focus on the one thing. All right? That's as much as you possibly can. All right? Now we're saying wave, but what else is there? What deserves to be number 2 slot? What gets the number 1 slot?
Well, like, would you say like shot control would be
Sure.
something?
I mean, I'm this is your call, right? Like you're smart enough to understand here. So, but yeah, I think shot control definitely deserves to be up there. It doesn't have to choose 1 or 2, but definitely deserves to be up near the top. And by shot control, what do you mean? We need accuracy with your shots, but more than that, correct? What else?
Yeah. Just then I would say positioning, like knowing when I can off angle, like when I have my
Sure. Looking for off angles, right? Just fundamentally, just keep pushing yourself with off angles. You might not always know exactly what off angle makes the most sense, but thinking about your positioning. Okay, so we got shot control, we have a little bit of off angling, and we have using your wave effectively. Now, with your shot control, besides just giving it your attention, what did you need to practice with your shot control? Do you remember?
The splash.
The splash, right. Splash, 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 splash. Obviously, there are exceptions when they're point blank in your face, but that needs to be something that you need to get very, very, very comfortable with. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so splash, off angling, saving wave for you pushed, you're 1v1ing, your tank is getting smoked, and so on. Make sense?
Yes.
And all of that's wrapped in a tidy package of it's okay to be overwhelmed. You will be overwhelmed. Just relax and focus on what you're practicing as best as you possibly can, and don't worry about perfect performance. Like even when you're practicing something, you're really not going to execute on that thing perfectly. So if you're working on your splash, you're going to fumble a lot. If you're working on your waves, you might mess it up. If you're working on your off angle, you might mess it up. But that's not really what we're interested in. We're interested in the development of that practice, if that makes sense. Like you're going to figure it out over time. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Any questions with Wuyang before we move on to a little bit of Tracer here?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, let's jump in. Good off angle here.
Sure, my Tracer is very scary, so.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I like the angle that you're on. And this is huge. This is big value for your team. Like I don't know if you guys are gonna win because you got a guy in spawn, but you took the retook on the off angle here, short range off angle. Your Genji's immediately dead. You start to shoot. You blink to dodge. You recall. You blink out. She misses, and now you actually won the duel there. So it doesn't feel like it, but you won the duel, and now she doesn't have an off angle anymore. Look where she is. Right? It's terrible. So now you have earned the right to deepen. Cautiously because you don't have your recall, but deepen nonetheless, which means you go to here and then you can shoot whatever you like. Earlier that would have been Hanzo. Now he's backed off. So now what is it going to be?
Unfortunately, not the cart.
Well, yeah, but like let's focus less on the battle state of this particular game and more on the thing that you can practice in all games, right? Which is just shooting what's available, which is going to be Ryan here. Okay, that's fine. Or Lucio, either one's fine. That's okay. Nice to see your blinks. Good job. Back on the angle again. You love that. Now Tracer's shooting you, so you got to dive her, or duel her, rather. Yeah, good job. So yeah, you Charlie 9'd it, you know. Lost the point. That sucks. But this is like, honestly, like a really, really good positional game from you. Like positional game, I say. Positional fight from you, and that's a really good foundation to start from, so well done. Now, I say that, and things get a little hairy here. So you have chosen which side of the map, given your team's positioning.
Left side.
Left side, right. So what should you avoid doing unless you have a really good reason for it?
I should avoid like going main or like.
Correct. Or right side even, right? Because that costs you resources. So where should you, if you're looking for an angle here, where is your angle here?
Like really right on that corner.
Right in your corner, or if you want to get saucy with it, if you have like triple blinks, to go this way to get to here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you don't do is you don't do this. You see what I'm saying? Because that exposes you to multiple angles and means that you have to use blinks to rotate, which means you get shot by Hanzo, which means you get your recall force, which means you have to run away, and which means you lose the angle entirely. Now, again, this fight was lost before you arrived. Let's be very clear, right? However, that is a poor fight from you positionally. So when we're looking at objective measures, whether you win the fight or lose the fight, not irrelevant, but it's not as important as what's going to win you fights, if that makes sense. Choose your angle, right or left, right? Who's your priority right now?
Tracer.
Tracer, that's correct.
I actually did have in mind like fight for the angle thing because like I did get scared of the tracer, but then I was like, yeah, I gotta go back in.
You gotta go back. That's right. Because going all the way to here is so incredibly inconvenient and slow. And you're like, I'm not confident in fighting tracers. Well, I beg to differ given what you did last fight, which you beat her twice. And then even if you are unconfident, I'm sorry, you don't have another option. You got to get good, right?
Yeah.
You're not meant to kill tracers. You're just meant to not lose them. So this is fine. I think maybe my only major pointing error here is if you know she's here, you really can't blink here, right? Because you need every blink that you have for this duel, right? Good use of your blink to dodge the... Good. I know this feels clunky, but you're doing the right thing. And look, and she keeps running away. See, she's not as smart as you are. She sees the tracer duel and she goes, I must be doing something wrong, and runs away. What does that give you? Free opportunity to just deepen and go for her. But your mistake here is, no, you fell. You had the angle. You won it. Like you're winning things through your positioning, right? You're not always winning it through mechanically, but the other tracer seems way more confused than you because you've done your homework. The problem is that you fell, and I'm going to assume that you probably in the moment realized that that was a mistake. You're like, ah, crud. That's all right. But yeah, you've lost your angle entirely, and this is a train wreck. Because if you're here, it doesn't really matter what you do. You could just throw your pulse bomb down the floor and see what happens. Like you could shoot, you can drop.
And it was like a Hail Mary, and it won the fight, but like it was not mechanically good, like at all.
Wait, this pulse bomb? Yeah, this is horrible. Like not even mechanically good. Like look at where you are. Like you had the angle for free, and you're stacked in front of your Orisa on the entire group of main. So if you win this.
I almost died of my own pulse. I don't even know how I did.
Well, because you didn't have an angle. When you're here and you pulse bomb here and you recall, you're going to end up, here, right? Like you're going to end up in the exact same spot that you were. So whereas here, you pulse bomb, you've got options and spaces to move around. You have nowhere to move here. So, you just, like, I'm going to praise you for your first fight. This is trash. You should be ashamed of yourself. Never play Overwatch again kind of a thing going on here. But, it's funny how that works, right? Like, that's just the nature of the game sometimes. It's like sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Now, one thing I will compliment you on is even though you didn't keep it, you did clear the tracer out of the angle so that she really wasn't relevant in that fight at all. So you did your homework early on, and then you just, set fire to your desk, right? So you do get partial credit for that, right? So well done. Let's hopefully that doesn't happen again. And by the way, if that ever happens, you fall off, it's not like it's over. Your life is over. You can just stop and retake the angle. What would you do if you did fell off here next time? What do you do?
So wait, sorry, say it again?
So let's say you took an angle, you screwed up, gave it up, you're now on our screen here. You fell on the floor, everybody's here. What do you do?
I would probably try to get into that room that's on the right here.
Nah, everyone's going to be like, but you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing here anyway, right?
Yeah.
Now, maybe the pulse bomb begs to differ there, but the point being is that you need to take literally 1 blink, 2 blink, 3 blink, and then just play it passively. But you must get off the floor, right? You not off the floor. I don't mean on the high ground. I'm saying any angle you need to go. It's okay. So the general rule is that if you screw up and you end up in the middle of just in the middle of these firefights, just take a second, get out of there, get off to the side. Take a second. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like here, for example, you get baited by that tracer, and now you're like, crud, same thing has happened again, right? You know, I probably would have just been like, I know you're worried about the cart, but the cart's got a lot of time. I probably just would have hovered around here, you know, and just done stuff from here.
Yeah, I think in my brain I was like, okay, if I'm on high ground, this is a good angle for like any DPS that's just not me.
Sure.
Because I'm like, I don't do any range damage, so I'm like, everyone's back there. You know, I guess that was my thought process.
This is where high ground is good for Tracer, though. Because high ground is good for Tracer because you're like, everybody's too far away. I don't do anything up here. But it allows you to get to good positions, right?
Right.
So what would you do from this high ground here? I'm going to cheat for you. I'm going to give you scouting.
Okay. Well, I could go the stairs, maybe.
Here?
On the far side.
Far where?
On like the far side, like do like a triple blink to
like
the stairs
here?
over.
Yeah, you just you ready for this one? It's incredible. There's a new invention called walking, right? Like you have time to do this, right? You could just walk here and stand here. And then if you wanted to go, oh, we're fighting now. I hear people shooting and just drop brush from here. That's fine. You know, it's fine. High ground's good for you because it allows you to get to different positions, but you're right. It's not necessarily going to be like the best short range offing. It's a little far, but then just use it to get to the position that you want instead of sitting here chasing butterflies, right? Take your angle. If you fight the tracer, great. If you don't fight the tracer, great. Okay? Yeah, this is good. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. A little late with the blink there, but that's all right. So now, see, this is they're screwed. Because Elusive decided, I'm going to help my tracer, but he decided too late. Because you've already done the damage here. So if you play this well, I'm surprised you ran away. Well, I think you could have kept, like, you don't have to force fight this, but you...
I did not even see that my Moira's faded in there.
Well, remember, even if your Moira's not here, is this still your angle?
Yeah.
It is. Now, are you going to win a 2v1? No. Are you expected to win a 2v1? No. What are you expected to do fundamentally in these situations?
Just hold the angle.
Hold the angle as best you can. Back up even. If you have to back up to here or back up to here and play it really cautiously, that's fine. But this is your space. You cannot let these guys just run it for free, right? Run it down for free. You must keep them contested. You don't die for it, but you cannot run away. Because this is wasting resources right now. Like, look at this. Is this safer? No, it's not. This is you trying to find value elsewhere, giving up the lane for free, and also using blinks to do so. So now if your Moira dies, it's your fault. Oh, she's just a legend, I think. Oh, it's your fault. Shame on you. You understand what I'm saying, right? You chose a lane. You committed to that lane. You live on that lane. If it's 2 people, 3 people. If it's 1 person, you kill. Or you fight, you know. If there's nobody, you just keep going. You ran away from a duel as soon as you saw it was a 2v1 instead of just patiently controlling the space. Make sense?
Yeah.
But, again, you did a good job taking the angle initially. That was still good. Okay. We'll watch one more here. So this is important. Is this tracer your responsibility anymore?
Not in the moment.
Not at the moment. She would have been if you had seen her, but you didn't see her, so you're too far away, so don't bother. What should you do from your angle now? Same question, right?
Go on the Life Weaver. Probably.
I mean, anybody. Go find somebody. Go find your angle, you know? You go use the stairs. Hunt around. Sniff around, you know? Bloodhound moment, you know? Try to find an angle from this position. This is too far, so you know they're over there somewhere. Go find your angle.
And just keep trying to find the tracer.
Yeah. And this is just a mistake because we had time to go do other things, and this becomes very inconvenient. We're now chasing, right? Don't chase. You're like, oh, well, they would have gone high ground. Okay, what would you have done if they don't run up high ground? You're right here. What do they do? What do you do?
If they didn't go on high ground?
What if they did? You're up here, and you're like, where are they? Oh, gosh! Right, what do you do?
I would just go in that room.
Yeah, just duck off to the side. Harass, distract, you know, shoot. Run over here and hide. Okay, go back on. This is your space, right? This is where you were.
Honestly, like, yeah, I don't even notice in the moment that, like, I do play, like, way too much with my team, like, on Tracer. Or, like, with this game, you know?
Yeah. I really want you...
Close-knit.
No, Yeah, I want you to think again to like the first fight, like and how well you played the first fight. You decided on an angle that you knew, and then you just basically did whatever was there. It was dueling Tracer, it was shooting Ryan, it was going for Hanzo. There's like a lot of little different things that you did there, but like overall you controlled that space really, really, really well. Since then, there's been a lot of like kind of just trying to put out fires instead of just kind of patiently taking an angle and dealing with what's on that angle, right? Like that's really the fundamental of Tracer. And whether it's a 2v1, whether it's wide open, just take the space and fight for it. Don't worry about it too much. That's all. It's that key decision pre-fight to decide where to fight and where to hold space, and then not ending up in the middle of your team. And if you make the mistake, which you're going to, that's okay. Pause for a second and fix that. Find somewhere to go, even if it means a bit of downtime. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Make sense? It's totally fine to do that. Do you have any questions?
I think I'm good. I think, for Wuyang, I have some good things to focus on and to practice that I will be implementing, and for Tracer as well, to just to like get more value than just sitting clearing angles, but also just like trying to find things that that only Tracer can do, and
Yeah. Just more consistency with holding space, more confidence in yourself, right? In terms of your positional decisions. That's basically it.